policy, and if you want, you know, be a disruptor with your thinking and presentation. That's what the young people now are thinking about. The world is now thinking about disruptive thoughts, you know, whether it is in IT, the economy, and all that. So that's where we shall be going, and so for us, we shall only be moderating and guiding to ensure that we keep time. Remember that time has been lost, so if we tell you, if we advise that you had 20 minutes, but now we are giving you 15, make sure that we don't lose any of your content that you have prepared for us, but within the 15 minutes. So let's try to be frugal with our time as a resource so that we can get the best out of you, out of this sitting. Our opening remarks is going to come from Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma. He is currently the ATMIS commander, but also Deputy Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation. I want us to put our hands together to welcome General and give him some energy, because having this kind of discussions, you need to be energized so that your thinking can be transformed into some actionable deliveries. I want to welcome you, General. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Odongozo. The organizers of this dialogue, Ministry of Trade and Industry, headed by our sister here, the Permanent Secretary, Madam Geraldine Sali, the operation, the co-organizers, the Operation Creation team, headed by Madam Roscovia Nanozo, colleague, those who may not know me well, I happen to be a member of Parliament, and I've seen some colleagues here. I've seen Honorable Florence, woman MP, Amurata District. Don't know whether we have another one here. Senior citizens, I'm not going to go into each one of you, professors, doctors, and all of you in your wonderful respective capacities. As already been introduced, I'm Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma, MP. I'm here in two capacities. One, representing my boss, General Salim Saleh, who happens to be the Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, but also my personal capacity as the Deputy. My role is a small one. I've been asked to open the dialogue. But before I do so, I want to make a few remarks, and especially remarks to do with understanding certain things. When we talk of factors determining wealth creation, we need to understand what is wealth creation and who is supposed to create wealth. Because working in Operation Wealth Creation, wherever I go, even when I'm at Parliament, you find colleagues running after me, asking me to create wealth for them. What do you have, General, what do you have in your car? What do you have in your my youth groups want to create wealth? And so what are you giving us? I think there is a misunderstanding there, and that is what I want to try to clear here. But I want to First of all, welcome all of you. Have been responding to our invitation to come and participate in this wonderful dialogue. Because it is through dialoguing that people come up with solutions, solve their problems. Everyone here has their strengths, so when we put our strengths together, then we can come up with good solutions. So I want to really, on behalf of Operation Wealth Segregation, to sincerely and warmly welcome you to this. Now, what is wealth segregation? Wealth segregation is as it is written. It is creating wealth. But what is important is who should create wealth. To me, I understand two people. The primary wealth creators and then the secondary wealth creators. The primary are anybody with a stomach. If you are here and you are carrying a stomach, big or small, it is your responsibility to create wealth. You don't have to wait for someone, because someone else has also his stomach or her stomach. So why should you wait for someone to create wealth for you? So the primary wealth creators are the individuals and homesteads. If you know you have a stomach, if you know you have a family, you must. It is your number one responsibility to create wealth for your people, for yourself and your family. So this notion of saying, me I sit in the house, in my wherever I am, I wait for someone else to get wealth for me is wrong and should never be encouraged. And it is spreading like, bushfire. People think that some people must come and get wealth. Why? Who are we to you? So that is number one group that should really create wealth. Number two, or the primary wealth creators, should be government. And it seems it is not also clear by government officials that actually they have only one role in this country, to support the primary wealth creators. When we go for elections, many parties present themselves and their manifestos. And if you want to understand a manifesto is a simple thing. These are just promises contained in a document. That is the manifesto. Nobody should ever confuse you to think that the manifesto is something very complicated. No. Promises put into a document, and you have produced a manifesto. Now, every party makes promises. When you vote for me, I do this, I do that, I do the other. Okay. Whichever manifesto is bought by the voters takes the day. And when that one is done, then it means the people have given you the party A, the mandate to implement the promises you propose to them. They have given you the mandate. Stage one is campaign, to make promises. Stage two, you have been given the mandate to implement what you promised. Then now, stage three, the party that has been given a mandate forms a government. Minister of Trade, the minister is so and so, you don't know how many ministers, PS, commissioners, undersecretaries, government is formed. Minister of Defense, Minister of Agriculture, government is formed. To do what? To implement, to fulfill the promises. But if you look into those promises, all of them are to do with wealth creation. All of them. That is at the stage. Now, after the government has been formed, then there is budgeting process. Budgeting process. For us, Ministry of Defense, we want 10 trillion. Ministry of Energy, we want so much. Ministry of Works, we want so much. Apparently, we are done with budgeting. We finished. We are waiting for the day to read what we passed. Now, you are given this budget as a Ministry A to implement the promises of your government and the party. So if you are a minister or a permanent secretary, after you have gotten that, actually when you are budgeting, you must go to the other list of promises, the manifesto, and check where are my roads, where are my promises to this document. Number 15, it is the Ministry of Defense, we promise peace, security, and stability. And now you've been given the mandate, but also facilitation, the budget to do so. So the next now is for you to go and support the other primary, where is the creators, create ways. So that is number 2 group that is responsible for waste creation. That is the government. For example, if the Ministry of Defense uses their budget to put in place peace, security, and stability, they have directly contributed to waste creation. If people are free, if the country is stable, if people are secure, then they can do whatever they choose to do. They can create waste the way they want without any fear or threat. I'm seeing my senior citizen elder here, Professor Latiko. We lived in the same area for a very long time. But that time, Acholi lacked peace, security, and stability. People were in the IDP camps. People were running away from their homes. People were being abducted. So would you expect those people to get wealth? Certainly not. So the day Ministry of Defense solved that problem, you go to Acholi now and see. So therefore, now if Minister, another example, if Minister of Works opens roads and connects people to markets, manufacturers need roads, processors need roads, farmers need roads, traders need roads, service providers need roads, even rumor mongers, just to be able to take a rumor from one coin to another, you need certainly a road. Even thieves, those you see breaking into people's homes, they are doing it to get income, but for them to realize that income, there must be a road to take them from where they steal from to where they sell what they steal. So therefore, once Ministry of Works and UNRWA do their road, they have directly created ways. So therefore, we need to understand the way these things work. Now, then what is operation wealth creation? Because there is a mix there. That's why people run after you thinking that I'm the wealth creator. No, no thank you. For us, mainly, we came from UPDF. And there are clear roles or the mandate of UPDF in the Constitution of Uganda. There are about 4 or 3. Number 1 is secure the borders of Uganda from external aggressors. so that our people are free to do whatever they choose to do. That is the main one. Then others are also there, you know, that we don't have time. We support the other government agencies in case of disasters or internal issues when we are called upon. You remember a few years ago, we had some insects called locusts. They came from Kenya and they attacked Uganda. Now, since I was born, I had not even seen a locust, just seeing it like this. But I was appointed to fight locusts. In all the military colleges, I've never found any topic about but because it is the constitutional mandate of UPDF that in any. So I went there and the rest is history. So therefore, those are the mandates of UPDF. Now, there was a census done, I think 10 years ago, because now we are undergoing another one, which revealed that 68% of Ugandans were not in the money economy. Now, I want you, like I did say here, when the Minister of Defense does their part, then they have contributed to wealth creation. Therefore, security and development, this is what you are putting here, and wealth creation are related. Whereas security, peace, security, and stability are enablers of economic growth and wealth creation. But also, when there is no development, also development and wealth creation are enablers of security. When people are agitated, when people are poor, when people are frustrated, then you cannot boost of security. So our coming therefore was exactly to play our role in security. And for you who remember events well, you remember in 1993,
as my co-coordinator, Mr. Honorable Prosinanozi, I recognize my team from the Ministry of Trade who have been working with me. I recognize the MPs, and most importantly, of course, I think I should have started from my ministers in absentia, but they're coming on their one is coming on this book. So as and when, but thank you so much for coming. It means a lot to us. One of the reasons that I am inspired about this wealth creation, sometimes you think that you're happy in your blissful ignorance. When you don't know you're happy, you're among the 95% of the people who Afande Kavumai are thinking for. For me, I will sleep my 8 hours, and Afande is going to stay awake his 4 hours thinking for me. I am happy where I am. I don't know that I have lost this. I pay my freeze as and when I buy food, you know. I'm happy where I am. Then, suddenly, I get a position like this one as the Permanent Secretary of Trade, of Industry, of Cooperatives. And then all my ignorance goes and the misery comes in. There is a disadvantage in knowing what I know, let me tell you. And I am going to break it down for you. Indeed, I also carry a stomach. So, I am primary. I am one of those primary people who must produce, first of all, for my stomach, then all the responsibilities around me. Home, then you have the nucleus of dependence in our villages, then we have government, we have mandates, we have to fulfill these manifestos, and all those things that come. But we sit in so many of these conferences. We sit in so many, and we have all the fancy names I can tell you. We are not limited for names. We have symposiums, we have conferences, we have dialogues, we have, you know, engagements, we have all the summits, we have all the names to call them what we want. We go in, we talk about these things, and then we wait for the results. The results come in. They usually come in, but they may come in at a pace slower than what we think it should be. But I can tell you and I can assure you, Ugandans, we are among the most brilliant people in Africa, even if not in the world. We have the talent. We have the talent. We have people who are working in NASA. We have Ugandans working in NASA. We have Ugandans working in foreign armies, and they are scientists. We have Ugandans innovating in other parts of the world and leading on innovation. We have 26 Ugandans in Boeing. At least you know that. So we have got the talent. But as they say, now it's a self-check, the leaders that we have. I'm also going to look at myself in the mirror and say, am I the right leader really on this one? But I can assure you that we have to work very hard in terms of justifying the things that we would like to see. I am going to associate myself very closely with the norms of wealth creation. And this is how. I want to start by the freshest topic that has been on everybody's mind, the whole discussion of IFRIS. The whole discussion of IFRIS and the related taxes and everything to do with trade. What we want to do as per the NRM manifesto is to do import substitution. It is one of the promises in our NRM manifesto that we would like to shift away from trading and bringing in all these foreign products and bring in the labor, the expertise, the skills, and everything to do with production locally. If we can shift, I mean, we even import toothpicks. We import toothbrushes, even when one nice is there. We import literally everything. We are a net importer of our country. I don't want to go into the details of the statistics, but we don't need to be in that position because what we give away is expensive foreign currency. We buy it, then we go and buy it, we import in our inflation, yet some of these things we can actually do them for ourselves. And then, under Ministry of Trade, we have got an institution they call URI. It's the Uganda Industrial Research Institute. It is headed by Professor Kwesi. But if you go to this place, it's in Namang, you will not believe what you see. I had never seen anything like that. I didn't even think we were in Uganda when you visit this place. It is super amazing. Now, this is a place where they are actually manufacturing machines. And they actually have capacity to manufacture machines for value addition. So, why don't Ugandans know about it? I didn't know about it before I joined government. And I thought I was in the 5% with the funded customers thinking for the rest of the world. Then I realized I'm in the other category where they are thinking for me. So now, I know about those people and what they do. Then, sadly, I got to know about church. And you're going to wonder, why is she talking about church and religious faith? And I'm also asking, and I'm going to preach this thing until I don't know. If you go, you will find we have over 150,000 worship houses in over 10 religious sects in Uganda. But some of these churches, they actually manage to mobilize money for Range Rovers. They manage to mobilize money for nice big houses, large mansions. And they mobilize a tekumi, a time, every month. And these people really just take them, even the wives of these folks, the sheep, that's it, she can go and get her car, take it to the pastor, take the husband's car, take everything, and they mobilize all these resources. So if those people can manage to mobilize resources for all these material things that we see, why can't we say that one church, one factory? One church, one factory. If you're a genuine person and you really want your folks and your sheep to be happy and be rich, and you're not the one only, you're not the only one thinking for them, why can't you mobilize and get one church and you get a factory for them where their children can work? They don't sleep in the church, instead they sleep in the factory. Why don't we get those people to mobilize around the whole infrastructure of government in trying to get them under parish development model? We have all these past initiatives, but we really need to see the impact on the ground. And then our brothers and sisters from Uganda Investment Authority will tell you they have over 150,000 hectares of land for industry. It's there. And they're giving it out for free to Ugandans. So you see how I don't sleep now anymore? You see how now my 8 hours are shrinking now towards the 4? Because now I know all these things in my head, and they keep eating me up. Why aren't we unlocking our wealth? What Chichechigane? Because if you can tell Ugandans vote, how come they are running there to vote? Why can't we also start a NG of, one church, one factory? In Mutambala, if they are growing ginger, let them process the ginger, and we sell it, and we take it to Dubai, and we take it to India. India is made of spices. Some of the rich people on Forbes rich list are rich out of spices. Why not us? And you know even what is worse, when they tell us that in Karamoja is very dry and what, all those things that they bring on TV. When you go to Karamoja, we have very fertile soil. The northern part of Uganda is gifted with flat land which is already available for commercialization of farming. And it is all nice flat plains, very healthy black soil, gifted by nature. We are not utilizing it. So then you wonder, what is it that is missing? Okay, if our brothers from OWC are saying they are coordinating us, okay, at least you give us a connection to God and we talk to him also. Give us that connection. If you're coordinating, don't forget him. Let's talk to him and tell him that I'll longer but to be, so that we can link, interlink our resources effectively, so that we can unlock our resources effectively. So we have always talked about affordable financing, but why isn't that affordable financing working? Why don't we push our own agenda and have our own bank like all the other people? I had the topic of banks and all. We always talk about it. There are people who are going to discuss it. We are here for 3 days to break it down and crack this thing down. Why isn't it happening? Is it the fact that you design, there are people who are very strange. In the financial sector, they can even ask you for a baptism certificate before they give you a loan. Sometimes the paperwork becomes so horrendous, and the people from whom you're asking this paperwork have not gone to school. We are fundamentally an informal economy in agriculture. So some of you understand the people you're pitching to. They may not necessarily understand all these things, but we must be able to unlock our potential, unlock our wealth in a way that is meaningful. I also wanted to talk about, so now that is input substitution, the people of IFRIS, you are encouraged to now come in and start the production locally. Even me myself, I'm also starting my own production because I also want to test the industrial parks. So I started in my own small way to see how small people begin, and then you start going up. So I'm encouraging everybody else to start on that. Can you imagine we even import conflicts? We import conflicts from Malawi, yet we can produce maize. I have just been talking about the production from South Africa. The whole of South Africa is in a drought right now. I've discussed it with Afande Kavuma. I've said to him, those who were in a meeting of the Prime Minister last week, you will note there is a very big drought in the southern part of Africa. And they want food from Uganda specifically because we are organic. I've said that is our unique selling point. Everybody knows in Uganda, we are organic food. And when I started reading out the list for him of the food that they want, and mind you, there's been a Ugandan there who has created a very big hub in Johannesburg to receive Ugandan products. He's set up already. He even has cold houses just for Ugandan products. But we don't have the capacity to fulfill even 1/8 of what South Africa wants. Yet they are willing to pay for the food in advance. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, our honorable ministers. Sometimes when you're waiting for a bus, the bus, you wait for 3 hours, none comes, and then after that, 3 come at once, and you then get confused which bus you're taking. Now, I have been looking for my ministers. Now they have all come at once. So can you please stand up and recognize them? And I'm going to ask Ms. Audomso to take over this session because we are going to do the national anthems and everything that we had been waiting for. Then I can continue from there. Thank you.
And so whichever areas they go to, the Ministry of Trade has to be there because it serves as the final pool of all production. So when Madam PS was lamenting here about the market and so on, yes, because we must synergize together with Operation Wealth Creation so that we have more production. Obviously, for the ministry to participate meaningfully, we need to understand global trade patterns, the trends, both internationally and in the region, and it's only after that that we can maximize on the benefits that these trends present to us. And I think we can only have this through dialogues like this so that we are doing things from an informed point of view. You already know that Uganda is market-led and private sector-driven economy, and as such, Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives will be happy to listen in to your suggestions, which should end up informing policy to improve on our exports, and also competitiveness, so that we can grow our economy. I really am here to invite my senior minister, but I thought I could just let you in on those few marks, and so therefore may I take this opportunity to invite the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives to come and give a few remarks and do the ceremonial opening. Thank you very much.
partners present, the chairman and members of the policy inclusive dialogue, members of the business community, all government officials present, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here for the official opening of the National Dialogue for Stakeholders on Economic Development. I welcome you, all of you, to this important event organized by my ministry in partnership with Operation Wealth Creation. I want to thank the General Saleh, Chief Coordinator of Wealth Creation, for the leadership in implementing the intervention of His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to ensure economic transformation through wealth creation. I congratulate upon continuing to champion the cause of improving Uganda's productivity, household incomes through Operation Wealth Creation initiative. It is noticeable that the activities of wealth creation are permeated through the mostly communities across the country. Many households have been able to access various agricultural inputs, seedlings, value addition, equipment, and financing through parish development model. Operation Wealth Creation has faced challenges resulting majorly from the community's lack of skills to adapt to the technologies. The communities have not adopted the value chain approach that greatly diversify economic enterprises and eventually provide employment to the youth and other productive members of the society. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives has a mission: develop and promote a competitive and export-driven private sector through acceleration of value addition in manufacturing, cooperative movement, and access for Uganda's goods and services in the regional and international market. My ministry provides political and technical leadership implementation of the manufacturing program of the National Development Plan and the National Industrial Policy. The goal is to increase the manufacturing value addition from 8.1% to 20%, and the contribution of manufacturing to the gross domestic product from 16.5% to 30% in the next 10 years. Why this? Because manufacturing has the potential to stimulate growth in all sectors of the economy and provide decent jobs. Our strategy is twofold: establishing a self-sustaining and a resilient economy, and increasing value addition for import substitution and enhanced exports. The theme of the National Dialogue on the Economic Development, Factors for Determining Wealth Creation, is well thought and aligns the National Development Goal of socio-economic transformation. I'm aware there are practical issues limiting implementation of government programs that need to be addressed urgently. This platform that gets together experienced resourceful persons in different sectors to discuss critically development issues.
You talked about this issue of domestic areas as to whether it was captured in a national debt. Definitely it's not, and you alluded to it. But the most important issue that really itches me so much as Minister of Trade, and what have you done? What can we do for these guys? 5 trillion, I think, I'm not sure, more than that the government is holding people as they are saying their properties, because government has not paid them. I'm glad Dr. Soma is back. The issue of public trust, the trust, I had talked about it yesterday. We must solve this domestic areas issue. Because we are not killing the private sector instead of promoting it. When we are talking about this issue of high risks, why the interest rate is very high, this is the reason. These borrowers who go to get money from the invoice financing, because the issue government is not paying the suppliers, the domestic areas. This is a very serious issue. And the issue of this, even domestic borrowing. When the government hear this, which banker would give a business people, private sector, when the government is there? You know, this, when you look at the next year's budget, the financing of the budget, they are telling you that they are going to raise money from the domestic market, from the domestic banks. So now the banks are waiting for a request from Mr. Kasaija. They want to get them, they are smiling. So the private sector cannot access this money because the bank are busy mobilizing those savings for the government to borrow. So this, I was being given 1 minute, I think, but we must pronounce ourselves on these issues.
Keynote